Hey, welcome to Crazy Snack
Like a
Time.
crazy taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This snack time, we're going crazy.
We are.
We're gonna talk like the crazy taxi guy the whole podcast.
Yeah.
I could.
This is going to be a crazy episode.
Playing some video games.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start in here. But this episode we are celebrating the 15th anniversary of the North American release of the Dreamcast, 9/9/99.
Oh yeah.
And by checking out some Dreamcast games, I'm going to jump into Crazy Taxi. But so the Dreamcast was pretty great, right?
It was. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I was.
Hold up before we keep going.
Yes.
Who should I use? Who should I use as my driver? Any thoughts on that? I'm usually either a BD Joe or a Gina kind of person.
I usually go with Joe. Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna
what I
use
was
Gina. I'm gonna use Gina
thinking. Okay.
for something a little different.
One
Joe's
Andrew
the
doesn't want
man,
you to
but
do.
all right.
But yeah, like I never technically owned a Dreamcast, but I had a cousin who would always leave it at my house, and he like pretty much always left it at my house. So I
Your favorite
almost,
cousin?
huh?
That was your favorite cousin?
He was until he told me I could have it, and then took it back a month later. That was
Oh,
really sad.
that's-
I actually
can't
even
do
bought
that.
I even bought a game for it too. I was really happy about it. And then I didn't have it anymore, and I just gave him the game, and I was like, I don't want this anymore, and then I cried. But beyond that, I really had fun with the dream. No, seriously though, it was essentially I essentially owned it for like a year or so because it was there all the time, and then he just didn't want it anymore, and then he wanted it again. But during that time, yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and I didn't get a PS2 until. Like a couple years after that launch, so the Dreamcast and then eventually the GameCube were like my two systems for a while. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time.
I barely played the Dreamcast. I had a couple games. I had a buddy who had it, and I played probably Skies of Arcadia was probably the one I played the most. But
Yeah,
I'm afraid I will sort of be the outsider's perspective on the Dreamcast. So you guys.
So
You guys
yeah,
have
I
to
guess
do-
I can. I have sort of
Steer
a
the ship.
middle ground with the Dreamcast because I did not have a Dreamcast at launch. I knew somebody with a Dreamcast. I think everybody kind of had that rich friend who bought everything and had
Yeah.
all the stuff. So like yeah, he's like, I got a Dreamcast and 9 games at launch. It's like what?
wait,
I know.
nine games.
They're not even good. I mean,
99?
most launch games aren't even good. They just buy
Here's
them.
the thing. Well, except for the Dreamcast had some great launch games.
Yeah, they did.
Um,
They did.
But yeah, most of them aren't. But yeah, so I actually didn't pick up my own Dreamcast until I went to college, and it was the thing where like GameStop was getting rid of Dreamcasts for $30.
Yeah,
So that's when I got mine. But like the thing is, the system holds up like super well.
Well, the
So-
Dreamcast, as far as I know, it's funny you mentioned that. The Dreamcast, from what I've read, was way ahead of its time, right?
Oh yeah.
Was that its main problem? Other than, I mean, a couple.
I
other
mean,
things.
its
But I
main
heard
problem
that
was
Its
that
main
it
problem
tried
was
to-
piracy.
yeah.
the system itself was not the problem.
Also,
No.
the fact that Sony released a much more successful system a year later.
Yeah. Timing.
Yeah. 2
I
years
guess
later,
timing is
rather.
everything.
I mean,
right?
also
Yeah.
the problem was the system, like the Saturn was the Dreamcast problem, both in perception and in making Sega unable to really, support it financially. Like
Right.
whatever people say about the Wii U being like the Dreamcast, so Nintendo's going under. No, Nintendo's sitting on a pile of money. Sega had run out of its pile of money and didn't have very
Nintendo
big to
has.
start with.
Yeah, Nintendo has more money than any. I mean,
Yeah,
they've got that thing called the 3DS, and before that, the Wii and the D. Yeah,
Yeah.
money is. Even if the Wii U fails, quote unquote, completely, they're not going anywhere.
yeah, but the Dreamcast was
Dreamcast
kind of
didn't
like,
have
well,
that-
we
didn't
have
have that
our
back.
launch marketing budget, and if that doesn't work, we're under. So,
Yeah. Man, I could go for some
Sure.
KFC right now.
oh yeah,
I mean,
man.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know why, but I also could go for some delicious fried chicken.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. So Crazy Taxi did get re-released, but they stripped out all the things that make it Crazy Taxi. They stripped out the license things. They stripped out the music. Like,
Ooh, what is this? Sane taxi?
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Responsible taxi? Come on.
yeah, I only want it crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Graham, you're driving like a crazy person.
Yeah. So The one, like, you know, I'm not like a super huge Crazy Taxi guy, though I guess I own all of the Crazy Taxi games. But
you're not a Crazy Taxi guy at all. How many of those games are there?
Like, three, yeah. And the airports and things. But the thing that I think is most interesting is Crazy Taxi is kind of the first game to really do what Burnout got really, really right later, and it was the like near miss like points thing.
Yeah.
And like so like you know if you could do it with like better driving. Oh, speaking of better driving, but yeah, Burnout like took that and ran with it. But you got to credit Crazy Taxi for coming up with the whole like living on the edge sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy's gonna get mad at me.
A few textures, I guess. Do you guys remember the year this specific game was released? It wasn't launch, was it?
I think 2000 maybe.
It was.
It was not launched, but
for
it was launch window.
Pretty close.
Right.
Yeah.
For a 14-year-old game, this does not look that bad. Like in terms of like other games of this era, the frame rate holds up really well. It still looks.
And so like for
good.
For the purpose of the stream, I'm using standard AV just for capture purposes. But the thing about the Dreamcast that also makes it so great is that it had like native VGA support, which makes games look great now.
Yes. Totally.
So, yeah, I have a VGA box and love that thing. So
wasn't just slightly off topic. Wasn't the original Crazy Taxi a GameCube launch game, or was that the second one?
I think it was a port of the original Crazy Taxi.
Yes, it was a port of the original Crazy. Okay,
despite the fact that I believe Crazy Taxi 2 was out.
Yes,
and then Crazy Taxi 3 was an Xbox exclusive.
Yes, I remember that. It's just funny because this was actually probably the first Dreamcast game I played, and then I ended up getting it again on the GameCube when I got the GameCube at launch. So it was just it was kind of funny how that worked out. But
yeah, and it was one of those like, what is happening right now? Like decisions. I feel like we've gotten past that, but it was one of those things where like, you know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 got released at the same time as 2X, and the Xbox was like, what are you doing? So, well, 2X is great, but that's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2X is.
But it's like 3's out. Why are you getting 2?
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some weird development things going on at that point.
So while we're on, go ahead, Henry.
No, Andrew, you go ahead.
I was gonna start talking about our favorite Dreamcast games.
Yeah.
Figured might as well just dive into that. Now I know Henry used
Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
I'll go first because I basically only have one that I played at length. That was Skies of Arcadia.
That game is incredible.
Did you play it on the Dreamcast, or did you play Skies of Arcadia Legends?
I didn't finish it on the Dreamcast, but I played it on the Dreamcast, and then later on got it for the GameCube and beat it then. But very few games I feel are sort of feel exactly like the system, if that makes any sense. I was looking at some lists online about like the 360's top 25 360 games, and like 19 of the 25
you should really just look at the 10 to own forever. I think is really all you need.
You should.
Yeah.
That's
it's on a site called Snack Bar Games.
Yeah,
they're
I've heard
great.
that.
I like them.
That site has some very talented and handsome writers.
They sure do.
And they also have Andrew Pasafumi, sadly. But anyway.
Yeah, but he's funny. So Skies feels like a Dreamcast game.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that, but like the look, the feel, everything about it feels like a Dreamcast game. So I think if I get to pick one that I played at length, I figured I picked a good one.
Yeah, and that's definitely like, I think it's the best RPG on the system.
Yes.
And like, I mean, that wasn't the PS2 or anything, but the Dreamcast had some pretty good RPGs. And then it had Evolution. And that sequel.
Hey, Evolution was all right.
You know, like Grandia 2 was great on that system, and you know, the Phantasy Star Online games were actually pretty great. They're a little weird, but they're pretty great.
Weird in the best ways, though.
Yeah.
I really liked. I don't remember if it was more of a Zelda-like game than an RPG, but there was a game called. It was basically Egg. I don't remember what it stood for. I'm forgetting.
Elemental Gimmick Gear.
Gimmick Gear, yes. Elemental Gimmick Gear. I played it a long time ago. I've been meaning to track down a copy and play it again.
I've heard good things. Yeah, I haven't played it.
But yeah, when I played it, it's a great game. I recommend anyone with a Dreamcast check that one out because it's kind of flew under the radar of a lot of people, but it supposedly still holds up. So. That was a good one. I liked. There was another one called Silver, which also came out on PC, and I played it on PC, but Apparently, Dreamcast version was okay too. I like that. So some good kind of obscure ones too. But yeah, how's the driving going, Graham?
Poorly. I'd really like to deliver some people to their desired destinations before this thing runs out. But
Graham, I want to say I don't know if I would trust you as a taxi driver in real life.
Oh no!
Even though your job is pretty well related to highway
thing.
safety. Are there some conflicting thoughts playing a game like this?
Not so much though. I mean, because again, I like Burnout, but the thing about this is, like, you know, I went to visit some family in New York City like a month or two ago, and I was realizing how much real Taxi is like Crazy Taxi up there.
It's New York is nuts.
Like, it's like, do you know what lanes are?
When were you in New York? What dates?
Mid-July.
Oh, okay, I just missed. I was there mid-August.
Yeah.
We got the worst cabbie in the world. The worst. It was his first day, and even with GPS, he kept asking us where to go. He kept stopping in the middle of traffic to ask other cabbies. Like, it was just a nightmare. Like, I don't understand how you would drive through Times Square in the summer without losing some years off your life. It's just awful.
See, yeah, Graham may not be the best taxi driver, but I'd say he's a pretty great Crazy Taxi driver.
I'm decent. I'm not good.
Man, this person's not very happy though.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna end this on a high note, but that's okay.
It's all right.
But yeah, so Andrew, what is your favorite Dreamcast game?
All right, well, I have two answers. One of them we'll be playing in a little bit, so I'll wait to talk about that. But
okay.
I guess if I had to pick one,
yeah,
that would be Shenmue.
Okay.
Game that does not hold up well at all by any standards, really. But when that game came out, I was one of those people who bought into the hype.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is gonna be the game that changes video games. This is the future.
It changed them.
Yeah, it did. It did change them. Yes.
All right. Before we move on from Crazy Taxi, I'm gonna check out the Crazy Box.
Please
It's crazy.
Please, Shenmue not so crazy. But yeah, I don't know that game. I just really liked. I just liked how calm it was. I mean, I liked kind of just wandering around, talking to people, asking about if they know where they find sailors. You know,
Yeah.
Doing odd jobs, getting things from vending machines. I don't know. And the combat itself was okay, but the main reason was just it was like an adventure, you know. And I felt like the only games that really kind of captured that for me, outside of adventure games and RPGs, were that they just didn't exist. So this was kind of like a nice mix of that, like, adventure game style and like I don't know, kind of RPG-ish with some beat 'em up elements. It was just really cool at the time, and the sequels is way better, and that doesn't hold up that much better. But if you're gonna play any of them, play that one, I guess, on the Xbox. But yeah, I fell in love with that game. That was the game I bought, by the way, for the Dreamcast that I thankfully was able to finish, but then was in the middle of replaying it and then couldn't play it anymore. Sad face.
Yeah.
Graham, Andrew, at least you tried.
I did get to finish it though. I was obsessed with that game when it came out, so I pretty much played it endlessly.
Go, please. Okay.
Man. Shenmue. You should just, let's just stream. Let's just spend the rest of the stream. Let's just play Shenmue. Let's just.
I have two copies of it.
Sailors?
Wait, you have two?
Yeah.
Why?
Graham, do you have multiple copies of
was-
every single game you have?
No, my original copy of Shenmue has some
Yes.
scratches on the first disc.
Okay.
You can play it sometimes, but sometimes it freezes up in the first fighting sequence.
Yeah.
That was the one I had like back in the day, and I'm like, I can't play this game. So
How about a game of Lucky Hit?
Nope,
Would you
can't
like to
get
play a
there.
game of Lucky
you try
Hit?
to leave the house, and then it freezes. So
Andrew, what about the sequel?
All right.
I always thought it was Shenmue. You say Shenmue?
No, it is definitely Shenmue.
all right.
Shenmue. What about the sequel?
I was just talking about the sequel. I like it a lot.
I thought you were talking about the original.
No, I mentioned the sequel, and I was like, hey, that game's great too. I think that one.
The third one that's never going to come out.
How about the third one that's never going to come out?
Would you like to see it come out?
No, I don't know. At this point, if you want Shenmue, you just play Yakuza. I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of it's a darker Shenmue, basically.
Perhaps a spiritual successor?
Definitely. I mean, we'll never get another one of those games again, but the ones that came out here were all right. So,
Yeah.
so that's I especially recommend number 4. That one's great.
Yeah.
It looks like Graham's had enough of Crazy Taxi.
So I assume it's time for me to talk about my favorite game.
Yes.
Yes.
So I figured we could just play it.
Wait a minute, you own your favorite game?
Favorite Dreamcast game. Let's be clear. Favorite Dreamcast exclusive. Let me put that in there too. But yeah, I think this game's pretty great, and a lot of people disagree with me, which is fine.
Those people are wrong.
Those
Let's
people
get
are
that out.
totally
All right,
wrong.
I'll play devil's advocate. Graham, this game looks stupid.
You're wrong.
I don't think it looks fun at all.
Well, you're incorrect, and I'm going to show you.
What is this game?
Okay, so I'm going to start out by explaining it by doing some puzzles, because I feel like that's a pretty good way to explain what it is you're doing, right? So the whole thing, you'll see these are puzzle stages. These are, kind of look at it, figure out what you're doing things. But the idea is there are these little mice, and they're ChuChus, and you're trying to get them in your rocket. So that's why it's called ChuChu Rocket.
Yes, this game was made in Japan.
Well, yeah. It's a Dreamcast game, so probably. Yeah, so the whole thing is you can do it by placing, like, arrow tiles. So you move around using the stick or the D-pad, and then you play using the 4 face buttons. You use them like a D-pad to place down the things you need. So, for example, for this puzzle level, I can only hit up, but I put an up tile there. And then when the mice hit the up tile, they go up. And then they hit the walls and turn right whenever they hit walls. That's a thing.
Okay.
But so that's like how the controls work. But the main game is kind of this party thing.
Whoa!
I'll get to that in a second. Yeah, when you get all the mice in the rocket, you win. So I'm gonna do one more puzzle. But the thing to do, let me see. What was
Pretty
the?
cool. Okay.
I
Can I
believe
withdraw
that was
my
the
earlier
solution.
comment about how this game looks stupid? Is it
yeah.
too late?
Yeah, no, it's fine. You can, yeah, it's
Comment
you're good.
withdrawn.
But yeah, so it's kind of 2 games really. It's this puzzle game, which is actually pretty fun, and there is an iOS and Android port of this game where like the puzzle mode is great, right? Because you can just kind of look at it, think about where to put the thing, and that's pretty great. But what makes it shine on the Dreamcast and why it's ridiculous that this was never like released on Xbox Live or something is the 4-player like party mode. And now that you understand the mechanics, I think you might be able to understand what's going on the screen when I do the battle.
I know I will.
Yeah,
I know I won't, but let's humor me and give me a try.
It gets a little crazy, so I'll start by just going to the standard first map. But so you can have 3 arrows out at any given time, and you're trying to get them in your rocket and not other people's rockets. But then there are cats. They are kapu-kapus instead of ChuChus.
Of course they are.
And you don't want them. They eat the mice.
Aw.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, those cats are no good.
This is very what? What is Mouse Mania? What is going?
Just don't worry about it.
This,
I won't.
I like Henry's reactions to this. It's pretty great. So, Graham, I feel like we need to just briefly talk about the amazing Japanese commercial for this game.
Sure, yeah.
With that super catchy song. I wish I could just play it right now, but I can't. I could, but it would sound terrible. But
You can't sing it for me, Andrew?
no, I can't. I'm incapable of song. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We talked about this earlier.
If you get a chance, please look up the ChuChu Rocket commercial, the Japanese one. It's super short, but I don't know, something about it is just it's the most charming thing ever. I like this game. So
Graham, you have pretty much all the computer scores combined.
Because I'm playing against easy computers because
okay.
I'm talking at the same time and I haven't played in a while. But yeah, So the thing is how crazy the game can get.
Crazy ChuChu Rocket.
Yeah, it's just normal ChuChu Rocket. But sure, yeah.
I'd say normal ChuChu Rocket is the puzzle mode. Crazy ChuChu Rocket is this multiplayer mode.
Yeah, no.
That's what they should have called the modes, actually.
I think I'm okay with that analysis.
Sorry, I didn't cut
see
you
this
off.
slowdown speed. This is more my speed. Now I can understand what's going on.
Mouse Mania.
Yeah. Right now, I know I have a huge lead, so I'm just guarding against the cats.
As you do.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just like a really good plan in general. So,
Gee, while you're doing that, do you want to tell us? And this is news to me, the extremely exciting news that you got to play a certain game coming out that may be of interest to millions of people.
Yeah, probably millions. So
no
yeah, the Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS is coming out in Japan in less than 24 hours.
I'll contain
And
myself.
I will have that, but they did release a demo early, and I've been playing that demo, which it's a pretty good demo. So
I'm just gonna ask. I have the main question. Is that game fun on 3DS?
yes.
Okay.
So
That's the thing I'm worried about.
like all the screenshots don't look great because screenshots for 3DS games never look great.
No,
They never
do.
look good.
And the controls you'd think would be bad, but no, they're pretty okay. All things considered.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think playing with other people in a room is better, but and I'm not going to be
course.
able to do that for a while because I don't have local friends with Japanese 3DSs. I'm the crazy one.
Wait, you don't?
I don't.
No.
I need people with them to just move here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a while before that happens. And there is online multiplayer, but Smash Run, the crazy 3DS mode, is local only, so it's gonna be a while before I play that. But I've just been happy to get to try out the demo. Has Mario, Link, and Pikachu, and it has Mega Man and Villager.
Ooh.
And I really
Okay.
like Villager. Villager's real good.
I just like Villager in general, really.
Yeah, but I like Villager's playstyle because it reminds me a lot of Peach in a lot of ways, where you have like all of the recovery, and then also you have moves that are a little slow and may not be great for like pro level play, but they're like really smash heavy. Like you have like 4 moves that can kill somebody, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
That's great.
Mega Man's kind of the opposite. I'm sure people love him, but it's just like, I don't know, you're just shooting with the bullets. It's like Mega Man. You don't do much damage. It's difficult.
That's fine. I
Yeah.
want that. Sounds great. Give me
But
more
yeah.
Mega Man.
Okay.
So no like Little Mac or anything like that. Just those characters.
Not in the demo. Again,
Yeah.
like, ask me again in 24 hours, and I can
Oh, I
let you
will.
know. Let you know.
Little
more
Little
about
Mac
stuff.
seems like he'll be my character based on everything I've seen. At least in terms of the new guys.
Little Mac
I thought-
seems like a tech heavy kind of character, so
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what happens with that.
Do you want to talk about the? Do you want to talk about all of the information / news that has come out of the game being streamed over the past 12 to
Sure. Yeah. We
20
can.
hours or so?
Yeah.
So basically, the leak that came out about a month ago, or actually it's only been 2 weeks now at this point. It's pretty much confirmed that all those characters everyone thought were that from the leak are in the game. So that's cool. Like Duck Hunt Dog.
That leak was legit.
Yeah, Duck Hunt Dog is the greatest.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
that-
That's so amazing.
When
Yeah.
Nintendo didn't come out and refute it, it was kind of like, okay, these are the characters.
I mean, yeah, it seemed too good. It seemed just like everything. I mean, I know it can be really easy to fake those things, but everything that was being shown seemed like it seemed too good to be a fake. Especially once the video started leaking. But
yeah.
I also love the alternate costumes specifically for
yes.
Bowser Jr.
Well, okay, so Bowser Jr.'s alternates are the
Yes.
Kriplings, and that's pretty
Yes,
cool.
That's pretty cool.
I like all the alternate costumes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like even just the colors.
Yeah.
Like Lucina's colors are all based on other Fire Emblem Awakening characters,
Uh-huh.
and it's kind of great because it's like
Yeah.
tiki colors and like, man, I don't know.
You
I
could
think
just
it's cool.
pretend you're playing as those characters.
Yeah, you can. I mean, none of them have those weapons, so I mean that part's
Eh,
sad. But okay, there's just
Close
a loop
enough.
of mice.
When isn't there really?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think
missed.
everything that's come out of that is I'm a couple of head scratching things like why they brought back Dr. Mario, why there's Dark Pit. I don't know, but
I know there was a lot of backlash to when they changed the moves of Mario, so they just brought back Dr. Mario and gave him Melee Mario's moves.
yeah, I guess that
So
makes
it's
sense.
like, yeah, okay, sure.
Um, Dark Pit still makes no sense though. But
I think it like a lot of those where it's just like we don't really have to do that much more work. Like we want to put in Dark Pit as a skin, but then like let's change the variables just a little. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not bothered by that.
I do have one bit of disappointing news is the fact that at least it seems so far. I mean, for all we know, there could still be a couple of characters we haven't seen, but I don't know how likely that is. But apparently, there's no ice climbers.
No, there's no ice climbers.
No ice climbers.
That's kind of surprising.
I mean, I'm not the biggest ice climbers fan, but
I'm not.
That was a unique character or characters. Those were unique.
Seems like a character that like people at Nintendo would really like because it's kind of different and wacky and old school at the same time. Like comes from a game that no one. So that to me like screams Nintendo. It's not a guy with a sword.
It's not. Yes, that's
there's
true.
quite a few of those. So yeah, a little disappointed. But I mean, eventually you gotta cut the roster somewhere, right? I mean, you can't have like 50, 60 fighters.
Ice climbers. They could have just.
I know.
They cut a few characters from Brawl that I'm not too upset about. Like I knew Snake wasn't going to be in it. I knew
Wolf.
We didn't need.
Snake was like a special. For the one time.
Wolf. We didn't need another Star Fox character again.
You know what? Who knows? With Mario Kart, they announced DLC. Why can't we get
true.
DLC with Smash Brothers later on down the road?
And there are rumors that is the case, but I mean whatever. There are enough characters in that game. All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has
overall,
like customizable movesets. You can put in Mii's and like whatever. There's like
the Mii's thing.
There's like 20
cool.
more characters basically.
Yeah, it's great. The roster is for the most part pretty awesome, and I'm just upset that of all the characters that didn't get the cut, it was Ice Climbers because I felt like they were unique. To me, they seemed even if I never played as them regularly, like there would be those times when I just play random and I would get them and I'd have a lot of fun. So
yeah,
I'm upset about that, but not the end of the world. Hopefully we do see some cool DLC plans for that game, even if it's not characters, even if it's just stages. That would be cool. There's also another rumor. I don't want to spend too much time on rumors, but apparently there might be some kind of...
There was a rumor.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yes. That apparently there are other characters to unlock if you have both the 3DS and Wii U versions and you link them together.
And that makes a lot of sense because that
would make me very sad, but yes.
Why?
That does make sense. I don't want to buy the 3DS version.
If you want them for the so there are two ways it can work, right?
Okay.
It could either be that like they're ones that are already in the Wii U version, but they're holding them back so that they're a surprise reveal. So you get them if you had the Wii U version. Okay. The other thing is you can just find somebody who has the 3DS version and link it, and then you have it.
That requires effort. Graham, come on.
I mean,
Graham.
I'll have two copies of it. One of them's going to be Japanese, but
just send it to me. I'll send it back.
That's super cool. But Graham, going back to the controls, you mentioned the controls were pretty okay. How come not amazing?
Well, just generally the circle pads. It's slightly harder to smash on that.
Right.
I don't think that's a surprise to anybody.
Nope.
Because it's not a stick, so you can't like hit it over. But it works. It works pretty well. Like it works better than you'd think it would. That's what I'm saying, I guess. And then like just generally, it's a 3DS and not a controller. So just slightly less comfortable to hold.
Yes,
but it's very good for a 3DS game. It's not like the bad version, which I think is important. It's important to know.
You guys would know, being masters of the handheld variety. I don't know much about handhelds.
Oh yeah, Andrew loves handhelds. Wait
a second. That'd be Graham's territory.
Well, whatever, man. You own a 3DS. You know handhelds.
Okay, sure.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. They're not a ton of fighting games on handheld consoles.
No, there never have been. I mean, but it's because in the old days it was because they just didn't have the buttons.
Yeah.
But like there have been good versions of like Vita and 3DS fighting games.
Oh yeah,
Street Fighter was a launch game. They got Blaze Blue, they got Dead or Alive, they got most things.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Most of the appeal of fighting games is the like head-to-head combat, right? So there's that.
I will say though, not the biggest dive kick fan, but playing dive kick 2 players, 1 Vita. It's kind of fun.
That kick
Ridiculous, but
sounded so stupid. But the con I helped organize last year, the biggest tournament turnout other than League of Legends.
It's silly fun. It's silly fun.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether I win this one, we'll stop here. But I would like to win this one.
I would like
Graham,
you
go. Go, Graham, go. Oh, Graham, you didn't win.
No, not that time.
Win round 4. Let's keep her rolling. Andrew, I'm actually speaking, I guess, of handhelds.
Hey.
Tell us about played Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. There's a lot of crossovers in media lately. We've got Family Guy Simpsons crossover, Simpsons Futurama crossover, and now we've got Professor
Simpsons
Layton,
and Phoenix Wright. Whoever would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Homer.
It's real good.
Objection. Tell us how that game was, man.
All right, so yeah, I actually just finished that this weekend. Okay, so I love both series, or at least at one point loved both series. I think Layton still is pretty great. I have not played the new one yet because I knew that this one was Phoenix Wright or Layton versus Phoenix Wright was coming out, and I think I can only handle one Layton game a year, so I'll wait next year to pick that up. Especially since there doesn't seem to be any new ones coming out anytime soon, at least the traditional Layton games. So yeah, I do like the Layton games a lot. Phoenix Wright I've kind of gotten a little tired of. I loved the original 3 on DS. Those games I think were fantastic for what they were. Then Apollo Justice I didn't really care for. The Investigations game not so great, and the new one was good, but I think at this point, I don't know. Those games are just too wordy. I think I'm not trying to brag, but there's always those instances where there's 5 minutes of dialogue to get through to get to the puzzle solution you already know the answer to, but they need to Here's my example. Mr. Wright, do you have this to prove that? I bet you don't have this to prove that. And then the judge is like, yeah, Layton, or yeah, Wright, where's your evidence to prove this with that? And then he's like, I totally have this to prove that. And then he has to think, wait, do I actually have this to prove that? Let me show that I have this to prove that. And then you get to pick that you have this to prove that. So that's kind of.
Are you sure you have this to prove that?
Sometimes it goes on a little longer than that. But that to me has kind of been Phoenix Wright.
I think I got this win, you guys.
Oh, you got this in the bag. Andrew, keep
believe in
talking.
you.
I had this in the Rocket.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, long story short, I'm not the biggest Phoenix Wright fan anymore. I think those games get a little wordy sometimes, and I guess that's the whole point because they're basically visual novels with some light puzzly investigation, point and click type elements. But I continue to go back to them because I love those first 3 games so much. So my big problem with Layton versus Phoenix Wright is the Phoenix Wright part of it, where the actual trials are just not that enjoyable, and they have this new system where, because it's supposed to be like this medieval kind of setting,
right?
Except there's also magic and witchcraft and witches and stuff. I don't. There are it's weird, but because it's like this, the justice system is they don't for example, they don't understand logic. When logic is brought up, like, what is this logic you speak of?
Oh no!
So,
oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh no!
That's what I said.
Oh no! I went from 900 to basically nothing.
Oh
no,
man, Graham, those Kappas cap in your
cap
something.
Yeah. In my
that
rocket.
was really stupid when I laughed at it anyway.
Oh man. Okay. Well, still, I'm stopping that.
Okay. Okay. So yeah.
Oh, Graham.
So yeah, the trials, the Phoenix Wright part of the game is not so great. I feel like they have this new system where there are 4 or more witnesses at a time, and you have to the interrogations work the same, or the cross examinations work the same, but because it's multiple people, someone might say something that'll contradict someone else, and then you have to kind of it's kind of a new interesting take on it, but it's not really that different from typical cross-examination in other games. It's just there are more characters, so there's even more dialogue, and a lot of these side characters aren't that entertaining at all, so that's also a bummer. And until the very end, I wasn't super hooked on the story. I thought it was kind of boring. I love the interactions between Layton and Phoenix Wright, but the actual the actual like I don't know, the story itself just wasn't that great. But by the end of it, I was actually kind of into it. Like the way it kind of unfolded and everything came to a head in the end. Super ridiculous in that way that Layton games usually are, but
Yeah.
I was kind of into it. And yeah, so kind of down on the game in a lot of ways, but I still love the puzzles. I still think, kind of roaming around interacting with characters in the Layton style is great, and the puzzles they did include, not the best in the series, but still pretty entertaining. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like people who really like Phoenix Wright probably like this game a lot more than I do. And I think if this game had come out, let's say, a few years ago on the original DS or something, back when I was super into both Phoenix Wright and Layton, I might like it a lot more. But maybe it's because I've kind of grown out of that style of game, specifically the Phoenix Wright stuff, or maybe the games have just gotten worse. I don't know. I don't know. It's good, but I pretty much echo everything that Ingersoll said in his review. So yeah, read that review. It's great if you want more thoughts. But yeah, I enjoyed my time with it overall. It wasn't anything spectacular.
Right.
And this this is probably my other favorite Dreamcast game.
And it was a launch game.
SoulCalibur? Oh man, yeah, this
Like, it's crazy to think about how good this game
crazy,
is.
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi, look graphics aging well. How about this one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This still looks amazing.
This game's great.
Absolutely.
I think overall, I still prefer 2 personally, but this one is fantastic.
Yeah. I guarantee we could find a game at least this console generation that looks worse than this.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
Graham, can you try to do one of the screams that the characters do when they fall out of the ring? There you go. I like
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was concerned you were falling there.
Yeah, for a second I was like, whoa, did Graham just fall out of the ring? No, he's still here.
But yeah, so the thing I like about SoulCalibur is, like, whatever, like, I'm not particularly good at fighting games. It's weird, like, I don't know, I have a Neo Geo in my house. You expect me to be good at fighting games, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But the thing about SoulCalibur is that, like, I don't know, you can be kind of okay at SoulCalibur, or at least, like, good enough to have fun, without being, like, good at Street Fighter or something, like just...
It's the weapons, man. The weapons just add a little bit more individuality to everybody.
They do.
You can do guys with, like, big reach or short reach, depending on your style. Really, really good stuff, yeah. I always found it, like, just the right amount of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the... I think the thing about this one and the second game especially was the single-player content.
Yeah,
like
well, this one may be more than the second one. The third game, actually, I mean, there are some bad parts about that third game, but one thing it really did right was it brought back a lot of the stuff from one that was missing in two. But, yeah, like, especially this first game, especially, like, you think about it in the context of launch games. Again, the Dreamcast had a crazy good launch lineup, but with any launch lineup, they're, like, shallow experiences.
Yeah,
and this is like an arcade fighter. This should be a shallow experience. But you could play SoulCalibur for, like, years. And that's what makes it great.
This game, yeah, exactly. Like, this was the first the first Dreamcast game I played, and I fell in love immediately. Like, just right off the bat, the actual fighting, like you said, isn't too difficult to get into for someone who's not very good at fighting games. But also, just once you actually dive into the game a little more, there is so much content single player. Like, playing it with friends, that's fun and all, but this is like the one fighting series where I'm like, I actually probably prefer to play it solo because of all of the at least typically in the series, all of the amazing content. That's kind of not been the case so much in the last couple. But yeah, these first few especially.
Yeah, especially 5, man. 5 is like the shallowest game.
That was such a bummer.
It was. I was super excited to play that thing, and man.
They have not officially announced the new one yet, have they?
No, I mean, I'm still waiting for them to finish developing the last one. The story mode is one chapter with, like, actually sketched out storyboards instead of cutscenes. Like, it's real bad. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they put out that free-to-play thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, Namco's been all about that with that and Tekken and Ace Combat.
I don't like Ivy. I'm not taking chances.
This is back when Ivy was actually, and I can't believe I'm saying this, wearing a lot of clothing. And look at what she's wearing.
There's some clothing there.
Well, some. She'd still be arrested in a lot of countries for wearing that, but
yeah.
Good work,
yeah,
Graham.
that's definitely one of my problems with the way the series progressed, as well as.
I mean, she'd already be arrested for like attacking people with a chainsword.
Well, yeah, but she's got a sweet. Yeah, that thing is so cool.
But yeah, like I feel like the character designs have gotten not so good as the series progresses. They've kind of.
Yeah.
Fighting games have never been at the forefront of.
Again, 2 was real good.
Yeah.
But 3 started that decline as far as character design. Especially when they started letting me make characters. Because, man, I'm not very good.
That was still fun, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that part of that game.
Any fighting game that lets you make characters is pretty good. I think 3 for me kind of like bummed me out because there was that thing where you could get your save corrupted pretty easily from that one mode, and that happened to me, and I didn't play it ever again after that. After sinking like 20, 30 hours into it. I don't know. I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about, but it was like this kind of.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a huge bummer, but so that
kind
of like when I think back.
But yeah.
What's that?
Didn't happen to most people, but.
Yeah, but thankfully, yeah, it wasn't a widespread issue, but it was just, it happened just enough. Just enough situations that I can understand why people might look down on that one compared to the first 2. But yeah, it's still great. Yeah, I think 4 was where it got really weird. Just not a bad game, but I don't know. I don't know what it was about 4. I don't really even remember much about it other than it had Star Wars characters for some reason. But
yep.
Yeah.
I remember, of course, getting the GameCube version because of the Link, but other than that, I liked being Raphael. Everyone got mad at me because they said he was the cheapest character.
Did you hit vertical over and over and over again?
Oh,
just
man,
do the
no escape, no escape. Dance.
Maxi's my guy. I usually go Maxi.
As you can tell, I like Keelik.
Yes, you do. I remember you were bummed. You were bummed about 5.
Well, they have sort of Keelik.
Sort of Keelik,
The thing was, they have actual Keelik, but they turned Keelik into the Weapon Master.
Yeah.
And then they just put Keelik's weapon set on like a smaller character with less reach, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That's silly.
Yeah.
I remember the XBLA version of this game and how they basically took out the thing that everyone loved most about this game, the mission mode.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
That was a real bummer.
Yeah.
Are there weapon breaks in this version, Grim? I never played the first one.
I can't remember.
Those were really tough to hit. I know
I don't
players could do them all the time.
Oh no.
Okay.
I do like Sophidia a lot too. I played her a lot as well. Man. I think that was new to 2. I could be completely wrong. I think that was new
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
So Henry, you said you never played the first, but in the second, what was your go-to character again? I think
Raphael.
Raphael, right.
He was so cheap. That was our dorm. That was one of our. It's probably the fighting game, like traditional fighting game I played the most, just because in the residence at university, it was like the go-to fighting game.
Yeah.
And Raphael was just so cheap. But we had a hard time because, I remember that game kept track of stats, but it only kept track of, character stats. So what we tried to do is, make sure everybody only played a single character.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a lot of fights about, I'm Link, no, I'm Link, I'm playing Raphael, no one else can play him. So it led to a lot of fights. Both
as long as no one's trying to be Voldo, you're okay with me.
We had 25 people who wanted to play the game, so everyone, signed up, and, people were, basically what would happen is, I would be asleep, and people would, knock on my door, and they'd be like, Henry, can I come in and practice as Maxi? Or something like that, or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, come on in, and they just practice at 4 a.m. So everyone it was really competitive. It was fun, but also crazy. That I just eventually started leaving my door open because people would just wander in all hours and just start playing SoulCalibur.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Link was a great character too. I actually started. I eventually went
that cheap
back
healing
to Maxi,
sword.
but yeah.
Great fairy sword or whatever healed you.
Yeah, it was great. I think I never actually played the PS2 or Xbox versions, but I did play the characters once the SoulCalibur 2 got re-released on 360 and PS3. But Spawn and Heihachi,
cool. Heihachi doesn't have a weapon. What is he doing in a SoulCalibur game? That was terrible.
It was just kind of I guess we associate Tekken with PS2, so.
But he's already in a fighting game.
Yeah.
The idea is that you take Link and Spawn, not traditionally in fighting games, and then you pick a guy from another fighting game, and he doesn't have a weapon. No.
I mean,
this isn't right at all.
Yeah,
They
no,
should have
I
been
totally
like
agree.
Cloud or something, or I don't know.
It's one of those things where they got the rights to Link, and then the other two are just kind of like consolation prizes. I guess we're gonna give one to everybody.
The big
Consolation prize. Sorry.
No, I applaud the effort.
I liked it. Thank you.
I don't know. That was fine, and then that wasn't so great. And then again, when SoulCalibur 4 had Yoda and Darth Vader, I was like, okay, I take back everything I said about Heihachi because he was fine compared to those guys.
Yeah.
That makes no sense at all.
Because anything like the lightsaber, yeah, it doesn't quite.
Yeah, man.
At least 5 Ezio. Ezio made some sense, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually. I mean, I guess if it's supposed to be set in like Renaissance Europe, which it sort of is, with all Asian martial arts characters, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Very cool. Let's move on.
Before we move on game wise, Graham, I want to see you. I don't know how far are you going to finish this is the arcade mode.
I'm trying to finish arcade mode here.
Okay, I was going to say before we move on from this game, you should also just pop into mission mode real quick. Just show it off briefly.
Do it.
But yes, Henry, continue.
No, I was just going to say, Graham, you've been playing a couple of other games. Did you want to talk about any one specifically?
Sure. What would you rather hear about?
I know what I want to hear about.
Okay.
Andrew, we know. Was it Gang Beasts?
Yes.
Gang Beasts.
So Gang Beasts is pretty great. I was kind of on the fence about getting it.
Can you ever play a
game
game with a normal name? By the way.
I mean,
are there normal names in video games?
What are normal game names?
I don't know. So, I'm not going to say the Nintendo mascot because I'm going to get it wrong. I guess Gang Beasts is not too abnormal.
I mean, that sounds like a video game right there.
It does look weird. I guess.
I mean, it sounds like an early '90s like Jalico brawler, but
yeah, it does.
It looks very, very strange, very unique.
Yeah. So I was kind of on the fence about getting it because it's still in early access, and we're not gonna review it until it's done. But I was sitting around with some friends, just like, how about we get Gang Beasts? So picked up Gang Beasts, played 7-player Gang Beasts.
Oh man, 7 players.
Great. It supports up to 8, and that was kind of the reason we went ahead and got it. But so this game, it's like grappling sort of thing. Okay, I'm gonna quit out of arcade and go to mission mode. But it's like a sort of like a wrestling game in a way. But it's kind of abstracted. You're like colorful characters, and you like punch stuff. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain. It's one of those games you need to watch someone play it or play it yourself before you can really understand. But basically, you play as one of these 4 colorful. I feel like I'm just going to talk about it because I've seen so much of this game played thanks to Giant Bomb. They're kind of obsessed with this game. They basically you play as one of a number of colorful blobby characters, and then you essentially just punch the other characters and throw them all over the place until they get thrown like out of the area, and there are a bunch of different like levels. Like
it looks so disturbing, but
the physics are kind of what makes it too. Just how crazy and all over the top it is. How you could just like punch a dude a bunch of times and then just pick him up and just throw him, just stuff like that. I played the free version a little bit, sadly only with one other person, but it was enough to kind of get the general idea of like what Gang Beast is, and I don't know, that game is super weird. I'm really curious to see like
looks awesome
what they do with it.
Graham, how much mayhem was involved with 7 players on this thing?
The correct amount. I mean, I guess I'd rather have 8 players. But yeah, the thing about the game is like, there's kind of interactions between 2 or 3 people, but like it's fine if there are people on the other side of the screen also doing that. Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm only able to show a few of the missions here because I don't have my old save file.
No biggie.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and move on because these are training missions.
No worries.
But so I'm gonna do one more game here. Should I drive stuff or should I hit stuff? Any thoughts?
In terms of,
drive.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Drive.
Okay.
I say
Yeah.
Drive
Okay.
because I know which game it is, and I really like that one. And this, I actually did play a little bit of this on Dreamcast and played a lot of it in the arcade.
It's the best. Well, it's the second best version. Again, the arcade version's great.
Yeah.
But
So basically, Andrew, we're gonna do what I want.
Oh, all right. I'm just gonna go over here now. Over here.
Yep.
Bye.
But yeah, so this is maybe my second favorite Dreamcast game, and it's only my second favorite because again, there's the better version, the arcade version, and I have many great hours playing that game. There was a place in college that happened to put it on free play for some reason. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
This is sweet. This is a good one.
So, this game is great. I don't really even know what to say. This game's great.
Rush
It kind of speaks for itself, I'd say.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever try and do you ever play in the arcade and they had that like keypad of like the phone number where you had to like enter that?
No, so like I said,
they
they had
it to work properly.
I got mine to work. I don't know what to tell you, but they had two linked systems and keypad saves, and it was on free play for an entire college semester. So I had some lead times on some stuff. That's the only time I've ever like been on arcade leaderboards. Was in this like everybody played it all the time because it was free Rush 2049 cab. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try to race well. It's been a while.
Good luck.
Also, yeah, streaming setup means that the screen's on like an ever so slight delay. So that part's fun.
Sounds fun.
But yeah.
So I think we should just mention this briefly while Graham is racing. Henry and I have both recently finished The Walking Dead Season 2.
That's right.
Yes.
You heard correctly.
This is correct.
Henry and I played the same game within less than 3 years of each other.
Other than Assassin's Creed 4, yeah.
I still haven't beat it.
Well, you played it. We talked about it.
I'm not right now, but anyway, okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Continue.
Yes. Well, we can't really get into a discussion about it because
we can't.
We don't want to spoil it, obviously.
No,
but
we don't.
Let's just say, first, let me just get this out of the way. Overall, I like The Walking Dead Season 2, but Henry and I not on the same page overall on that game.
If we were in a choose your own adventure, I would be on page 71. Andrew would be on page 14.
All right. That just makes me think page 14, that sounds like a bad ending if you get to that far.
It's that's usually a pretty bad ending, yeah.
No, because sometimes you go backwards. I'm not saying 14 is the
Oh,
final page.
Here's the thing.
I mean, we
The
both
Walking
could have been
Dead-
on page 36.
Here's the thing.
And
The
The
Walking
Dead is
Dead
sort of like a choose your own adventure.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
it is a choose your own adventure now.
Yes.
Hence
Yeah.
why I used the analogy.
Aha.
So Andrew
It all makes sense.
liked it with a butt. I liked it with no butts.
Okay, so
You
yeah,
like
so
no butts.
No butts.
no butts. All
button.
right. No. All right. No butts in The Walking Dead Season 2. You heard it here first. So yeah, Henry wrote a serotonin about it. You know, all about the feelings and all that. That'll be going up tomorrow. Actually, I almost forgot today was Thursday.
Yep.
No,
Yes.
I thought today. I can't believe it's Thursday already.
Yeah.
The week went by really quick.
And if you want a more thorough, detailed, and expert analysis on why Henry's wrong and the problems with Walking Dead Season 2, that'll be running a New Game Plus next Friday.
Yep.
So you get to get two different perspectives on the same game, which is, it's cool when that sort of thing happens.
With
we
both
totally
pieces,
planned it. We totally
you
planned it.
yeah, with both pieces, you should finish playing it if you're gonna play
yes. So yeah, we do not
It's
hold
impossible
back.
to talk about that. Well, not impossible, but basically, there's a ton of spoilers.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
not read them without
I
playing.
mean, I think
without
it is
finishing
kind
the
of
game.
impossible to talk about the narrative choices in the second season without talking about
Yeah.
the narrative of the second
Second
season.
season, exactly.
Yeah, and also a bit of the first season too. So yeah.
I think it's assumed that if you are playing the second season, you've played the first season, or you already know what happened.
Some people
Also,
are
like,
insane
don't
and they
do
played
that.
Like Mass Effect 3 before 1 and 2, and
Yeah, but at that point, you'll still have
associate
everything
with those
spoiled
people.
for you anyway.
No, I don't want to talk to those people.
Okay.
Play the
But
first one first and the second one second.
I do have a question for you, Henry. So,
Shoot.
The Walking Dead season 1, your favorite game of 2012, correct?
Correct.
As it was mine. That was a fantastic game. One of our
Yep.
runners up of Game of the Year on Snack Bar. Now, season 2, I'm going go out on a limb and say it will not make my top 10 list, but I liked it. For you, I mean, too early to say for final. That's not for a few months, but like, where do you see it stacking up? Like, especially compared to the first season? Is
Absolutely in the top 10. Not quite as far as season 1.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't shock me if it was in my top 5.
All right,
Nah,
that's good because I think like even if you really like season 2, it's kind of hard to top that first season.
The first one had the wow factor and
Yeah.
the novelty factor for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is going to argue that the impact, certainly the sort of the, I guess, cultural impact or gaming impact the first one had will be bigger just because it's not, 2 is not new.
Yeah,
By
exactly.
definition, we have seen it before.
Yeah.
I mean, I go into detail as to why I thought it was like almost as good.
Yeah.
It'll definitely be up there for me. It sort of depends on what I play for the rest of the year. Lots of good ones coming out, so sort of be dependent on them. But it'll absolutely be. If it's not in my top 10, then this will be the best year of games. In my
Yeah,
life.
it's like one of those things where I'm looking at. I actually have a temporary top 10 that I kind of slowly like adding games to as the year
I do
goes
that
on.
too. It's important to keep track of what you thought of games earlier in the year because
Yeah.
it's difficult
That's
to
right.
remember it in exactly the same qualitative way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should also tell people that Andrew, you guys probably play overall more games than me, and this year I've been kind of addicted to Dungeon Defenders in the summer and Dota 2 earlier in the year, so I'm trying to catch up and get some more titles under my belt before at the end of the year.
I was going to mention, I feel like, again, we still have a good few months left with some pretty great looking games coming down the pipe, but like overall, I feel like this year has been kind of underwhelming, at least for me. So I'm thinking like I kind of feel the same way that you were saying, like if The Walking Dead season 2 isn't in your top 10, this was going to be an amazing year. So like if these next few months really deliver, then like this might be like I'm looking at my top 10 now, and maybe two or three of these games any other year would make my top 10.
Yeah.
But the rest of them would not in any other year that I've written for the site. So
Like last year felt particularly strong.
Yes, definitely. Like
So-
last year, I struggled to make that top 10 list because I had like 20 other games I wanted to include, and they were all great too. And that's why I ended up like making a list of like, well, here's this game and this game and this game and this game that are also great. You should play them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We're in that transition year, right? And the transition year from one console cycle to the other is rarely smooth, and it rarely yields the best games, just because by nature developers are getting used to the new hardware. Like you're not going to see a game like The Last of Us in the first couple years of a console generation.
Unless you see The Last of Us remastered.
Well,
I was gonna say
I
that,
knew you guys were going to call me on that. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so it probably won't be the strongest year, but it's still, I mean, I don't know. In the next couple months, there's a lot of games being released. It could be amazing.
Smash
I
Bros.
But
think-
2015, I gotta say, 2015, I'm gonna bet is probably gonna. I mean, for me, just because I'm excited for Xenoblade and Smash Bros. So, lots of good ones coming out for the end of the year.
Yeah,
for sure.
20, I feel like that's kind of like for me 2014 again, good stuff, but good stuff coming out. But it's like
2015 is gonna be.
Give me
same for
2015
movies,
already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm excited for that.
But yeah, there should be some good stuff to hold us over. I mean, I feel like to end this out, maybe we should talk about for the rest of the year what is that? What are the one or two games coming out for the rest of the year that we are really looking forward to? Like
Can
if you
I
had to
start?
pick, if you had to pick
Captain Toad.
pick Captain Toad. All right.
How did I know that?
Conversation over. Captain Toad.
Yes, Captain Toad definitely up there for me. So yeah, Grant, what is it about Captain Toad? I know the answer to this, but for the audience.
I mean, so we talked about this last year.
Yeah.
When Super Mario 3D World came out, we were both like, okay, that game is amazing. And yes, that whole game is amazing.
Yes,
but
it is.
I would play a whole game of Captain Toad, and they should give it to me. And then they gave it to me.
I didn't see it coming, but they did it. I'm
know.
so happy about it.
I was just getting like that was going to be like a running joke, like you should make more Captain Toad levels, and then they're like, sure, yeah.
Yeah, here's a whole game.
Which is great. It's just because they're really thinky. It's something new in the Mario space somehow. Yeah. It's also just like super charming the way they put it together. So, I mean,
and it seems like the full game will be like just even bigger levels and
I don't like that there's minecart levels, but I'll deal. But yeah, I'm excited about that.
Do you have an honorable mention? Second place.
I mean, I have second and third and honorable mentions, but as far as the other one I'm really looking forward to, and I'm gonna get to play it pretty soon actually, is Fantasy Life.
Ah, yes.
Which is...
That seems like it's right up your alley.
Yeah, level 5 is making like this like awesome like life simulation thing, and I don't know, that just seems great. There are a couple other things I want to play through the year, but those two are definitely like the things I want.
If nothing else came out this year but those two games, you'd be happy.
No, I mean,
well,
you just took away like 40 games from me. I don't want. What are you doing?
You could have those back.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's. I really like those games.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that something will come out and impress me on new systems.
Yeah.
Nothing's really done that yet for me. And
I feel like all of the games that are going to come out and impress a lot of people won't be your thing, at least for the first.
Yeah. No, I mean, even the things that are supposed to be impressive weren't particularly impressive to most people. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, but like in the future, I feel like a lot of the stuff that's coming out is stuff that you're not particularly into.
Well, sure. But if something's really good, like it can get through to even me, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
When Uncharted 2 came out and was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at those games and don't particularly like them much, but Uncharted 2 was amazing. So, there just needs to be something like that, and I'm really open to surprise. I hope something can come along this holiday season that will be something akin to that, but we'll see. Dragon Age, maybe? Dragon Age.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Henry.
So, what are yours?
Oh, yeah.
Sort of tied, I guess, 2. There's a lot out there. I would say Bayonetta 2. Just because the first one was so psycho insane, I enjoyed it way too much.
Would you say it was crazy?
It was. It's totally nuts. I hope translates well over to the Wii U. I hope the frame rate is just as smooth as the first. It was actually hard
especially since it's one console development. You don't have to worry about getting an engine to run on multiple machines. So that
good point.
That should make things a lot easier on them.
Sort of out of left field that Nintendo would. Get this, but I guess do they own Platinum now?
No.
But they were already developing Wonderful 101, so
I see.
Yeah, Nintendo is basically funding this. They're
that's what I knew
I
knew they had something more than the usual.
And as far as we know, this game would not exist if not for Nintendo.
They did the same thing with Devil's Third. It's like this takes like for us a negligible amount of money, and it will get us a lot of credit with like core people. Like as much as people criticize Nintendo, like they've been picking up some projects that are pretty out there.
Whether that Devil's Third turns out to be anything worthwhile is another story. But hey, it's cool.
There's a reason these things weren't getting done, which is my hesitation. But they're trying.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I guess the second one would be Civilization Beyond Earth. I can't believe it.
Yep.
So,
I'm actually surprised Greg didn't mention that.
We're so close to it coming out. I actually missed Civ 5, and I really am sad that I missed that one. I know it's not too late, but this is kind of Alpha Centauri vibe. I'm digging it. I hope it's good.
The reason it's not on my list is because I don't get excited about Civ. I just pick it up when it comes out and then play all of the hours of it.
It's
also
addictive.
Civ 5 was super good. So.
I heard
still
that.
super good. So
should I get Civ 5 before I get this?
I mean,
I think they're going to be different enough that you could play both.
You should play Civ 5. Did you ever play XCOM?
No, I still haven't played.
You should play XCOM.
Just play everything Firaxis has done in the past.
But I mean, you can get Civ pretty cheaply. But if you want to just hold out and only do Beyond Earth, that's not the worst thing.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cool.
I'll look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on that one because I don't know if my PC can run it, but I want to pick it up when hopefully next year build a new PC. So
yeah, no, I know the feeling. I have been enjoying that this year. So
So
what are yours? We'll wrap it up with that.
okay. Yeah, there are definitely a lot coming out. I feel like we mentioned Dragon Age. Really excited about that. But I think the one that I almost forgot about, not because I wasn't excited about it, but because there has been very little news about it in the past few months until a release date was suddenly announced, and it's a little game called A Bird Story.
Oh yeah.
This is the kind of game that is bridging the gap between.
Before you continue, you're not being sarcastic. It is a little game.
It's a very little game. Barely,
sure.
Developers get
It's not like a little game called Mario Kart. No, this is this is a small game in like the best kind of ways.
Yeah. So this is the game that is bridging the gap between To the Moon, one of my favorite games of all time, and the upcoming sequel, whatever, episode 2 of that series. This is going to be kind of basically how To the Moon worked. It was that it was follow these 2 scientists, and they are going into the memories of a patient and fulfilling their last dying wish through their memories. And you got a lot of background on both the scientists and the main character as well, who made this wish, and that was really cool. Really great setup. This is kind of doesn't feature the doctors at all. This is a prequel, essentially like setting up the story of the second episode. So it's apparently there's no dialogue. It's all music and visuals, and it's going to have some of the same kind of style as the original game. But yeah, like I cannot talk enough about how much I love To the Moon. So like even if this is just a little bit more of that, a different take on it, leading up to whenever the next episode comes out, that'll be enough to hold me over. I'll probably play it like 5 times like I did with To the Moon. So yeah, that's definitely my number one. I think number 2 would probably be Sunset Overdrive. The new Insomniac game, which is basically Jet Grind Radio meets Insomniac third-person shooter like Ratchet and Clank with some crazy visuals and awesome character customization and an open world. Also probably a lot like Crackdown as well. Like a lot of stuff I love, plus Insomniac making it, so it seems like a kind of return to form for them after Fuse was okay, but not really what people expect for associate with Insomniac. So yeah, I'm super pumped about that. That was the reason I picked up an Xbox One this year, because I knew I would be getting that day one, and among a couple of other games, but it was mainly like, yeah, Sunset Overdrive. This is the game that makes me proud to be someone who now owns all the consoles, and I can play all the games. So
cool,
exclusives like that. So I'm also really excited about Dragon Age though. Don't let me.
We'll talk
say
about
otherwise.
that. Do I need to play Dragon Age 2?
Wait. Are you saying Dragon Age as well, or Dragon Age the number 2?
No, I played the first one in the expansion, not number 2.
Well, this is kind of a sequel to 2 in a lot of ways. So I know you're a big narrative guy, so you might want that base.
I gotta play 2.
And going in with lowered expectations, I actually like 2 a lot, but I mean,
2 just
expect some recycled assets. Like I don't,
Yeah, but I don't mind that. It's the
Assets,
same thing people say Tales of Xillia 2. They're like recycled environments. I'm like, I like recycled environments.
But that's not so much recycled environments as much as it's the same environments. This is like you go in houses and each house looks like the same house.
Same, and then they're like 4 different dumpsters.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. Like it feels like a game that was very much rushed, and I feel like the ending is incredibly, like, actually disappointing. Not Mass Effect 3 disappointing, and stuff like that. But beyond that, I think the changes they made to the combat, more actiony may not be your thing, but I think it was great. I love the characters, and it actually, I appreciated that it wasn't telling a story that was about saving the world. Like, it was kind of a smaller scale.
The save the world thing needs to. We need about 90% less of that.
Although I think Inquisition is back to saving the world. I'm not 100% sure.
Also, like, if there's any game that really justifies it, I think it's Dragon Age. So I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm just. That's one of the things I appreciated about 2 was it was still kind of I guess epic in a lot of ways, but it was very small scale as well. Yeah. Both probably because it was kind of rushed, and also because they had a specific story they wanted to tell in that universe without, making the stakes super, like, gigantic. I see Graham has been flipping this car over and over,
man.
like, and then making it explode.
What did this car do to you, Graham?
Yeah.
I mean, I like this car. It's just what it's for. It's its intended purpose.
Yeah.
You know?
Graham, would you say that that's how you roll?
Yeah.
Get it?
I would. I also make lots of puns. Yes, that's what I would say.
Awesome. Good stuff. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep. That's how I barrel roll. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I don't have anything to say after that.
yeah, I got, I believe, all of these points in like the first 15 seconds, so it's been going real great. But yeah, on that note, I guess we can wrap up this episode. It's been fun to go back and play Dreamcast games. I'm gonna play some more Dreamcast games.
The Dreamcast was a great system.
It still is a great system.
The Dreamcast is a great system.
Like the Genesis was a great system. The Dreamcast is a great system.
Dynamite Headdy's pretty good.
Dynamite Headdy's pretty good. If it were on a better system, it would be better.
Well, it is on better systems because it's on the Wii
Right.
and it's on
There
the
you go.
Xbox 360 and
Yeah.
PC as well.
Anyway, no smack talk about the Genesis. Just the Dreamcast holds up so well. Just so well. I'd rather go back and play the Genesis than the PS2. I don't know, GameCube's pretty great. Definitely Xbox. Like, just the Dreamcast holds up really well. So
It does.
if you have not played a Dreamcast, get a Dreamcast. They're
Get a
super
Dreamcast.
cheap.
Pick up some classics like Blue Stinger.
Yeah.
And maybe I guess the games we also showed here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say that because I actually own a copy of Blue Stinger.
Yeah, I do too.
That was a launch game, right? Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, all right. See you guys.
Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.